Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is where I will be uploading English lessons. I hope this is beneficial to you. I hope that you learned from it and you find it interesting. This is my first video, so I'm excited to start this journey with you all. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Let's get into it. So, our lesson 1 is going to be based on idioms. So on this particular lesson, we are going to focus on the idiom a couple of. So each of these lessons will be based around one idiom, and that will be our focus for that lesson. So what we will be learning today, looking at what an idiom is. So starting from the very beginning, what is an idiom? What actually is an idiom? We'll be focusing on the idiom, like I said, a couple of. So we're going to be focused on the meaning of that, what that means, how to put it into a sentence, looking at different examples, breaking those examples down, and kind of allowing you to have some practice with putting them into your own sentences. And then to end the lesson, we will do some reading practice together. These signs have different meanings. When you see them on my slides, then it will just indicate what I am expecting from you. For example, if you see this one, it means it's my turn, I will have a turn. This one means it's your turn, so it's your turn to do the activity or to practice speaking or reading. This one is a little bit more tricky to understand, and I will explain. It's your thinking time. So if I want you to think about something or have a think about it, I will use this time. And if I want you to like listen and practice your listening or practice your speaking, I might do the listening sign because I want you to speak. Okay, so before we continue, I want you to have a little think about, so using this sign, we're going to think about, what do you think an idiom is? I'll give you a couple of minutes, so pause the video now, have a little think about what you think an idiom is, and then resume the video. Okay, so I hope that you paused the video and had a little think about what an idiom is. An idiom is an expression. Now, some of you might be thinking, what is an expression? So an expression is a way to tell others our thoughts or feelings. So if I want to say something to somebody, then that can be an expression. It's telling someone how I feel or what I am thinking. Now, this is the important part to understand about idioms. Just because we understand the words in an idiom, it doesn't mean that we understand the idiom. So we might understand the individual words. For example, you might understand a and couple of, but just because you understand those words, it doesn't mean that you necessarily understand the idiom. Okay, so that's important to remember when considering idioms. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be focused on a couple of. So the idiom a couple of. So when you hear a couple of, what do you think? What do you think about? What do you think it means? And how do you think we would use this idiom? Again, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, so pause the video here. And then we can resume once you've had a little bit of thinking time. Remember, this sign means thinking time. So I'm going to give you a little bit of thinking time, pause the video here, and play when you are ready to continue. Okay, so I hope that you paused the video and had a little think about what a couple of means and how you would use it. And we're going to go through some examples now. So a couple of means more than two, but not many. So when you use it, you have to think about, I'm describing more than two of something, but at the same time, I don't want to say, if I use a couple of, people are going to think it's not that many. So it's not describing something that is many things or days. It's just a few or a small amount. Okay. For example, a couple of days ago, I went to the shop. So let's break this down. If I say a couple of days ago, when I say that to somebody, they're going to think in their mind that it was only a few days ago. So it might have been yesterday, it might have been the day before, but it's not that long ago. It was a couple of days. So maybe 2 days or 3 days. Usually when we use a couple, we use it to talk about two. Like I said, we use it to refer to more than one, but not many. Now you can see the listening sign. So I want to hear you say this sentence. So are you ready? I'm going to point to the words and I want you to say it. I'm going to be listening to you. So let's go. Well done. Good try. Okay, the second one that we have is I have a couple of pens in my pocket. So in my pocket, I have a couple of pens. Let's break this one down a little bit. So I have a couple of pens in my pocket. So it means it's letting the listener know when we say this that I have more than one pen, but at the same time, I don't have many pens. It could be two or three. So it lets them know I have a couple of pens in my pocket. Okay. So again, you can see the listening sign here. So I'm going to be listening to you saying this sentence. I've had my turn and now it will be your turn. Let's go. Very good. Well done. Good try. Okay, now it's going to be your turn to make up your own sentences. So as you can see, it's got the listening here. So I want to be listening to you saying these sentences, and it's your turn to make up your own sentences. So here we have a couple of days ago, and then I want you to try and finish the sentence for me. So a couple of days ago, what could we put? Then we have, I have a couple of, what could we put to finish this sentence? And then the third sentence, Sarah has a couple of something. What could we use to finish off that sentence? I'm going to give you a few minutes, so pause the video here, have a go at saying these sentences out loud to practice your speaking and finishing these sentences. So get used to how you would use this in everyday language. And the best way to do that is through practicing. So I would like you to say the sentences out loud and finish them off. Then when you come back, when you have finished, we will go through some more examples together. Okay, so pause the video and then when you're ready to continue, press play is what I was meant to say. Okay. So I hope you've had a go yourself at saying these sentences or idioms and then practicing finishing them off. So a couple of days ago, I went to the park. A couple of days ago, I went to the park. Now your turn. A couple of days ago, I went to the park. Or a couple of days ago, I went to school. Or a couple of days ago, I went to the beach. You can say any of those, or if you come up with your own, good job. I have a couple of pounds. You can say, oh, I have a couple of pencils, or I have a couple of coins. I have a couple of coins. It means I have a few, a small amount. Okay, for the final one, Sarah has a couple of pounds, pencils, pens. Zara has a couple of pens. Good job, great trying. Okay. So now I have a question for you. So I want you to think about, look at the thinking sign here and the listening sign, which means I want you to speak out loud and say this. So have a go at saying this to yourself. First, say this question: have you ever been to Europe? And then come up with the reply. But I want you to use our idiom, a couple of. So how would you answer this question by using our idiom, a couple of? Have a little bit of a think and try and practice by saying the question first and then saying your answer. Then when you're ready, you can hit play and we will go through this together. So the question is, have you ever been to Europe? So have you ever been to Europe? How would you answer it using our idiom? Have a go and then click play when you're ready to continue. Okay, so I hope you've had a little go. I know it can be hard, especially if you've not practiced questions before, so well done for having a go. So let's practice this together. Have you ever been to Europe? Okay, so let's see if I can write on my screen. Hopefully I will be able to. Let's figure this out. Okay, so have you ever been to Europe? So there are a few ways that you can answer this question. First way is yes. I have been a couple of times. Can you see our idiom in that sentence? Let me make it a little bigger because I feel like it's a little bit small. So yes, I have been a couple of times. Can you see our idiom in that sentence? If so, where? You are right. It is here, a couple of. So have you ever been to Europe? Yes, I have, a couple of times. So it's letting the listener or the person we are speaking to know that I have been more than once. It could be 2 times or 3 times, but it would be no more than 3 times. Okay? Or we can answer by saying, just I have been a couple of times. Okay, so again, there is our idiom, a couple of times. So either you can answer the question by saying, yes, I have been a couple of times, or I have been a couple of times. Those are the 2 ways you can answer this question by using our idiom. So it's letting the person know that you are talking to, I have been more than once. I have been more than once, but it would probably be no more than 3 times. Okay. So that is that. Now we're going to go on to our reading time. And I feel like this is very important because it puts what we have learned today into perspective. So when I say perspective, it puts those things that we have learned into practice for you. So you can see how we would use it on a daily basis when talking to others. So I have come up with some reading today that has our idiom in it. And as we read, I want you to think, can you spot the idiom, a couple of. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to read, as you can see, the my turn. So it is my turn, my turn. And then it will be your turn. Okay, so as I put, can you find our idiom in this story? So our idiom is a couple of. Okay, so Sarah and Jack were hungry. They decided to go to the shop to buy some food. Jack and Sarah put their shoes and coats on. Where are you going? Mum asked. We are going to the shop. Do you want anything? Said Sarah. Mum thought about it for a couple of seconds and said, yes, can you get me a couple of oranges, please? Jack and Sarah came back from the shop with a couple of oranges, a couple of chocolate bars, and some pizza. Thanks, children, said Mum. Okay. Now I'm going to read it one more time for you. And while I'm reading it, I want you to see if you can spot our idiom, a couple of. Then it will be your turn to do some reading. So Sarah and Jack were hungry. They decided to go to the shop to buy some food. Jack and Sarah put their shoes and coats on. Where are you going? Mum asked. We are going to the shop. Do you want anything? Said Sarah. Mum thought about it for a couple of seconds and said, yes. Can you get me a couple of oranges, please? Jack and Sarah came back from the shop with a couple of oranges, a couple of chocolate bars, and some pizza. Thanks, children, said Mum. Okay, so that was my turn. Now it's going to be your turn. So I will point to the words and I want to hear you do some reading. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay, so where is our idiom in our story? Can you find it? I'm going to give you a couple minutes. So pause the video here. Then when you're ready, we can continue. Okay. So, where is our idiom? If you said our idiom is here, you are correct. It was used 3 times. So it was used here, and also it was used here. Oh, it was used more than 3 times, actually. It was used 4 times. Here and here. Oh. Okay. So that was our story of putting how you would use this idiom into real life practice when talking with others. Okay, so that is the end of our lesson today. But before we go, just ask yourself, do I know what an idiom is? Do I know what a couple of means? Do I know the meaning of it now? And can I use it in a sentence? And if your answer is yes to those things, great job, well done. If it's not, you can rewatch the video and a couple of times to get used to using the word and get used to using the idioms, I mean, not the word. So great work today. It's been really nice teaching you. Like I said at the beginning, this is my first English lesson on my channel. And thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I hope it was beneficial to you. I hope you learned some things. Please show your support by liking and subscribing to the videos and the channel, because it will mean a lot to me and it will help me a lot. Give me feedback. I want to know if this is actually beneficial for you, if you're learning from it, what I could do to improve, or what I could do, what lessons I could do. Suggest lessons to me. What do you want me to cover? What do you want lessons on? Because these videos are to benefit you. And I will see you soon for another video. Take care. Thank you for watching, and I will be posting next Sunday. So keep a lookout for that video, and if you want to be notified, please subscribe. Thank you. See you next time.